Second Amendment. I am carefully listening to and watching the incendiary debate on the marvelous CNN political talk show Crossfire, with the gun control theme. I sincerely hate weapons, and I never carry any. But my opinion is that those who say that the right to bear arms cannot be taken away from Americans are right. The Second Amendment must simply be respected. The National Archives displays the Bill of Rights as one of the three charters of freedom. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges of citizens, nor deprive any person of life, liberty, or property, without due process of law, nor deny the equal protection of the laws. The legal mechanism that courts use today to extend the Bill of Rights against the abuses of state government is called incorporation. Those who do not agree with me might scorn me and quit reading, but those are exactly the ones I appeal to, so carefully continue reading. Those who say that the safety of innocence comes first should know that the American Constitution guarantees everyone's safety, and if the Second Amendment, which is the most important amendment next to the first one, happens to be changed someday, then the First Amendment may be changed as well. Of course, I sympathize with everyone who has lost someone close to gunfire. My thoughts and prayers are with the parents of the children and the teachers at the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown. These children and their teachers are angels, and they are proof that angels actually exist, and that they shall always be with us when we feel weary. And of course, those who want to ban guns mean well, but the Constitution is still a sacred parchment that guarantees freedom. My opinion is that greed is a terribly dangerous disease for the American society, possibly even more dangerous than guns, yet no one thought along the lines of changing the Constitution because of greed. What I am trying to say is that the Creator provided people with the most merciful gift of all, which is freedom, so every person has the choice to walk the path of light or the path of darkness. Yes, we are all fighting those two selves within, and it depends on the individual's personality whether good or bad shall prevail. There are bad people, but, luckily, there are also good people, and each one among the good people has the duty to use their goodness for the greater good, and even to try and light a spark of kindness in those who are bad. How can a person become a beacon for lost souls? For example, the project according to which every American must have health insurance is a noble vision towards the greater good. It is horrifying to see a madman kill an innocent child, but isn't it just as horrifying to see a child dying of a disease just because its parents do not have health insurance? Some insensitive people might say that it's their own fault for not having expensive health insurance. I am hereby asking all the good people whether such an opinion isn't a finger on the trigger? Come on, people, this is a child we are talking about, or a mother who is not to blame for her husband's did not pay for health insurance, or could not pay, because he might have lost his job. The recession is taking big bites out of the free market, isn't it? Is the greed of insurance companies not a finger on the trigger? My opinion is that, sadly, we will never be able to solve the gun problem, or the poverty problem, or the greed problem. But even if we cannot completely eradicate these horrible diseases, we can mitigate them. The first step should be a law prescribing that every American must have health insurance because, as you should know, disease doesn't pick people according to race, gender, or religion. Furthermore, as far as the gun problem is concerned, every community, big or small, should pay more attention to the individual. Faith teaches us that no person should be invisible to the other, so how can we care for pets more than for humans? Mentally ill people should receive more attention from those who are healthy. Better safe than sorry, right? If mothers ask for help in raising their mentally ill children, then society, and every individual, must help, because the Creator teaches us that by helping another person up, you are helping yourself up too. So how can we help mentally ill people, especially those who are young or still children? My opinion is that we should waken the creativity within them. Art is one type of creativity, and if we wake it up within them, and everyone has that creativity, we give them hope, and some kind of light in the solitude of darkness, lest we forget that mentally ill persons are prisoners to a horrible psychological solitude. There is no brighter light than poetry, because it enriches the human soul with compassion, and everyone needs that, healthy or not. A great therapy for the soul is music like ballads or jazz, Louis Armstrong's Wonderful World, evergreens, that nurture the soul with love, compassion and hope. There are wonderful children who are not mentally ill, but still handicapped in some way, and isolated due to this. Do we ever stop to ask ourselves what is going on in the heads of children who are isolated from others due to a disease or a handicap? How would you feel if society was about to isolate you, or worse, if they only ever paid attention to you when they made stupid jokes? Wouldn't you feel humiliated? Wouldn't that humiliation grow into bitterness and, eventually, unreasonable anger? Some children are so sensitive to it that they would never hurt anyone else but themselves, and children like these are diagnosed with depression. Doesn't society suffer from shortcomings that are worse than that? Yes, we should always start with ourselves if we want to help someone else. What is left to such isolated children? Computer games that hurt the mind and soul even further with their violence, or violent, loud and disharmonic music that creates chaos in the mind and the heart. And in the end we have a killing machine, and still dare to wonder how it's possible for a perfectly quiet child, so quiet that it was invisible to the eyes of the community up to that point, commits such a terrible crime. We should observe ourselves in the mirror and ask if we could have done anything to prevent it. We should treat other humans in a manner that is more humane, because those who vow to love mankind should know that there is no mankind without man.